Hi, welcome to Monterey's Cooking. I'm Cookin Pisto. Today I'm going to do another one of these unusual dishes that in my travels in the last few years I've tasted paella in different spots, and we had an opportunity to taste it in Spain. And the paella in Spain does not taste like anything that I've ever tasted anywhere else. Everyone's different. We got a recipe from over there, and I've adopted it a little bit to our taste, not to our taste, but to our ingredients, I should say. And I thought I'd share it with you. Paella is a very, they make it out of seafood, they make it out of chicken, they make it out of rabbit, they make it out of snails, it's a combination. I want to show you how I make it, okay? It's very good, very different. And when we come back, I'm going to show you step by step how to make a very authentic Spanish paella. Let's get started. First you got to do is get yourself a rabbit. Get yourself a rabbit, okay? Now, this is the liver. Save the liver of the rabbit, save the kidneys. And you always, when you buy a rabbit, you're always going to see them. Let me turn this guy around. And you see the little kidneys there? These are very, very good. Okay, see, there's the other one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start sauteing. And I'm going to only do a half of this because I'm going to do half a rabbit and half of a chicken. And it was so interesting to taste. They even make a paella out of pasta that was absolutely delicious. I think I know what the key ingredients are, and surprisingly, what I understand is a lot of them do not, and I say do not use saffron. They use tomato, but I'm going to use a little bit of saffron anyway. Okay, let's break the chicken up. Okay, what we do is I'm just going to do, like I said, half. Now this is a real paella pan, honest to goodness paella pan that I picked up in Spain, and I had them send back to me, and I've got I think 6 different sizes. And I tell you, I love to use them because I got one that's as big as this. Now another thing, the true paella is supposed to be cooked on an open fire, and they say you're supposed to use olive wood. Well, that's pretty hard to come by here. I probably could use oak, which would probably taste okay. This we're going to save for soup. All right. Okay, let's season this guy up pretty good. Give it a little salt. Okay, careful when you put them in there. Let's cut this one off here. All right. Yeah, that's good like this. This way we'll have nice big chunks in there. Let's get some of this breast in there. Yeah, I just like to do it like that and like that. I once saw Jacques Pepin do this. He's pretty fast, I'll tell you. Okay, where's my big knife? Okay, let's pull this breastbone out. This way we have all nice pieces of meat. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the rabbit. And what I'm going to do is, let's save the kidneys. We'll put them right in there. And let me dig that other little baby out of there. There it is. And let's put the liver in there too. You know, rabbit has some of the best liver because it's so mild. Now, Let me make some room here. Now with the big knife, things start jumping around. Okay, so like that. Season it. Throw that in there. And then, now sometimes, you know, they take the back strap out. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cut like that. And like that. And like that. We season it. You got nice big pieces of rabbit there. I know Americans don't like rabbit, but you know, everybody eats. We're going to save this for something else. Every other country loves rabbit except us. We've got, you know, what's called the old rabbit syndrome, Peter Rabbit and all that. So, okay. Now we're going to brown this. See, these pans are made perfectly for that. I mean, just perfect. Let me wash this guy off. All right. Let's give it a little pepper. Spain also had some of the best hams I've ever tasted. Also, this is what's called chorizo, all right? This is real Spanish chorizo. The chorizo we get here is Mexican chorizo, and it's very soft, and it's made with raw pork. This has been smoked and dried, and it's almost like a salami, and you can eat this raw, and this is delicious. This is so good, in fact, you can have a sandwich out of this. And I mean, this is incredible. We're gonna put some of this in our paella. Okay, we want to brown this real good. I can see doing this over a fire. You know, a nice big Weber barbecue, loaded up with wood, and just, that could be a lot of fun. Everybody sitting around drinking Spanish wine, sangria, you know, that nice mixture of wine and fruit juices. That's incredible stuff. We were lucky enough to have friends that lived in a place called Zaragoza in Spain, Tori and Ana Maria, and we spent a whole week with them touring San Sebastian and going down into Barcelona and tasting all these incredible foods. I tell you, Spain is undiscovered. That's the place. You want to have a nice vacation, go to Spain. Okay, we're going to brown this real good. See how nice this is looking? Whoa! Got to be real careful. Look how nice that looks. And I got that flame on high. Okay, we're going to continue cooking this. And we'll be back. Okay, now, you see how nice and brown this is? Now we're going to flame it with a little bit of good sherry. And that's on real high heat. Ah, look how nice that chicken looks. See that? That's rabbit. See? Nice and brown. Okay. Let's pull that off. That real festive dish, folks. I can't wait to do a nice seafood one for you. You know, with all the, I like to do one with this freshwater fish, and then do one with salt water, and maybe just like a shellfish one. Now, we're going to use sausage, the chorizo. That's going to go right in there. And you got to put enough. And this is going to flavor this like you won't believe. You know, I noticed they cook very frugally in Europe. In fact, all parts of the world. We're just kind of spoiled, really. Okay, let's put our onion in there. You know, everyone has a rice dish. Italians have one, you know, better known as risotto. And Spanish, of course, have one. And the French have, what do the French have? They don't use too much rice. Okay, we got that going. Let's put some garlic in there. Also, the other secret to this is whoa, watch those garlics, is make sure the stock you use, and I'm using I had some chicken, some beef stock at home, and that's what I'm going to be using, with a little bit of chicken stock in it. Okay, look at that. Okay, let's put some pepper. Now, I've seen them use the red pepper. You know, the Spanish are very, very fond of pimentos. And that's what we're going to be putting in here also. But they like to use the roasted red peppers. They're very, very famous for that there. And they use a lot of that in cooking. And I've seen a lot of paellas garnished with the roasted reds. But let's just kind of improvise here. Like I said, every place you go it's a little different. Okay, we got that. Now, another thing they're supposed to have is the beans. Okay, they like what they call an Italian broad bean. Okay, I couldn't find any broad beans, but I found some little tiny beans. These are French beans, but these will work. Okay, then, very important, the other thing we saw done is you got to get some saffron, a good pinch of saffron, and heat it up to release the oils. Now be careful, we don't want to burn it. Okay, boy, that's sure smelling good. Okay, what else? Okay, we got the tomato. Oh, also, we got a few artichokes we're going to throw in there. You know, Spain also produces a lot of artichokes, and they come to this country as artichoke hearts. Now, they're not as good as our Casterville artichokes, though, let me tell you. They're good, but I think they're a different variety. Okay, that. Now, we're going to put a little bit of pepper, and I'm just going to cut these guys. Now, you could use a crushed red, but I've got these. Let's use them. I only put 4. Let's put a zucchini in. Okay. Whoop. See, it's prepared a little differently than the risotto that we do so often. But that has a definite steps to it. This is a little different. Okay, let's put our rice in. Did I got everything in there that I want? Yep. Okay, I'm using Italian short grain, it's fine. You can use American short grain. Now the difference here is when you add the stock, you're going to add it all at once. And you're not going to do it like we do the risotto, where you add a little at a time. Okay, let's lower this a little bit now. See, they say that the wood should perfume the risotto. That sounds pretty good. Okay, I've just sauteed that, I just warmed it up. Okay, let's stir that. And this is looking pretty good. Okay, let's add our first, let's salt this, I think, a little bit, huh? Give it a little salt. And now I'm gonna, now they say to grate a tomato. This is pretty grated. And they put a fair amount of this. I'm putting 3 big spoonfuls. And it comes out quite red over there. And it's not from the saffron, it's from the tomato. Okay? Now, if you're using, you know, you can use any big frying pan would work too. But the thing is, we're going to put this in the oven a little bit, so make sure your pan doesn't burn. Okay, some nice peas. I think I'm going to add the rest of that tomato. So that's a good couple of cups, maybe 3 cups of tomato. Okay. Now let's add our stock. This has a little chicken stock in it, but like I said, now we want to bring this to a boil. Make sure you loosen everything on here. And we'll be back in a minute. Okay, now, before you put it in the oven, these are snails, okay? These are petit gris. That's your normal garden snail, but of course they've been processed. You know, you can collect these, but make sure you don't put any snail bait out because you're gonna get sick. Now, if you got a nice organic garden, you collect them, you put them in a box, you feed them cornmeal or bread, and they purge themselves, and then you can process them like you would escargot, because snail is escargot. It's all the same. Okay, these are canned. I didn't have time to go out and collect snails this morning, so I did the easy way. But again, that's, you know, European culture. Everyone eats snails. France they've made a triumph out of escargot. Italians make it with pasta. Spanish eat a lot of them. In the markets, we saw a lot of snails for sale. That is. A lot of snails. Okay, see how this is nice? It's starting to swell. I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to add the full 2 quarts of stock. Just about. And then this is going to go right into the oven. Oh man, this looks like a party, doesn't it? Yep. Put some nice chunks of chicken. The rabbit. Whoop. Look at this. Boy, this sure looks good. Yeah, I should probably try to arrange it so it looks a little prettier. Put that liver right here for somebody who's, those 2 little kidneys. Let's pull that fat off. Okay, buried in there. This is all that. Whoa, you got to be very careful when you're on the stove, folks. You never know what's going to jump up and bite you. Okay. Now this goes into an oven, and this is going to take about 45 minutes or so, and she's going to be ready. Well, folks, here it is. Now, let me tell you, you leave it in the oven long enough. You see how it starts to pull away over here? That's what you want. You see, exactly what you want. Now, you got to write in for the recipe. This is an absolute, and you know what I suggest? Just put this down on the table. Give everybody a fork, and just let everybody dig in. Maybe have a little dish so you can cut up the chicken or the rabbit, and you know, this way, make it a real festive dish. This is a good one. I'd do this with a little salad. And make sure you get some nice wine, and I would use a Spanish-style wine, or good beer too. Would go very, very good with this. But this is just delicious. Completely different than Italian risotto. Has a whole different flavor to it. Very, very, very good.